Okay. Okay, welcome everybody, and welcome to my free masterclass, Discover Your Soul Aligned Niche. So, people have just been introducing themselves in the chat, and where's my little cursor so I can change the screen. Right, okay, cool. So you are in the right place if you are a businesswoman. You're a lovely businesswoman who is something like a coach, a health and wellbeing practitioner, a healer, a therapist, a facilitator, a spiritual guide, or something like that. And you've been in business. You might be quite new, but generally I work with people who've been in business for a couple of years or more. It may even be a lot more. Sometimes I work with people that have been in business for like 15 years and they're then like, I still want to figure out my niche. You want to make a bigger impact with your work and be seen as an expert and make more money. So why might you be struggling or not getting the results that you want? So there's a few different things, but might be being too general because what you do is useful for everyone and you want to help a lot of people. So a lot of people go down that general road because it's like, I want to help everyone. You maybe do a lot of different modalities, and sometimes we get tripped up by oh, can everyone just mute themselves? Just sorry, there's a bit of noise there. Yeah, if you're not on mute, can you just mute yourself? Yeah, you might have a lot of different modalities, and sometimes they just sort of, you do this modality and that modality and you add more in, and then suddenly you've got this huge list of offers, and yeah, business can become a little bit kind of unwieldy and a bit complicated. You might be scared of standing out and really stepping into your truth, and scared of being different, and being seen and judged and criticized. You're here because you're not totally clear on your business. You're not totally clear on the ideal clients, your niche, your offers. And of course, if you're not clear on that stuff, that's going to be holding you back from really making progress, and sales in your business. And maybe your business isn't making the money or impact that you want. So hopefully you're here because you've been maybe trying to figure out your niche, and the advice that you maybe hear from a lot of other places just doesn't quite work for you or doesn't quite resonate. You're maybe here because you really do want to discover that soul-aligned niche that feels right for you, but you don't know how to do that. And you're here because you want to step into your power and be the expert that you really know that you can be. And you want to be seen and courageous and shine brightly and make that impact that you're here to make. So what you're going to get today is I'm going to go into the content in a minute. We're going to talk about why you do need to niche when you work online as a coach or similar, and a little bit about like why I coach niching in quite a different way. You're going to understand why you might be struggling to niche and some things to kind of move through that. You're going to learn the 3 biggest mistakes that a lot of people make when they're actually trying to take that step to niche, and learn what a niche actually is. I'm going to take you through an exercise to help you discover your soul-aligned niche using my unique niching model. And then I'm going to talk about my offer, which is a coaching program for those of you that need it. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can describe the transformation that you offer in one clear and compelling sentence. So you've just got that crystal clear clarity. And then if time, we can hopefully do a bit of Q&A at the end if anyone's got any questions. So do kind of jot your questions down if you've got any questions, and hopefully we can come to that at the end. Feel free to put them in the chat, but I might miss them. So yeah, I might have to come back to them at the end. So I'll start with a little bit of like, well, who the heck am I and why am I even qualified to teach and coach on things like niching and business strategy? So a very, very long time ago, so it's quite scary, but 30 years ago, I went to university and I did a business studies degree. I specialized in marketing, and then I worked in marketing ever since, basically. But I worked in the beauty industry for something like 17 years. And I sort of didn't really like it. I loved the job, the actual job, and I was very good at it, but I didn't like the industry, and I started to really hate it because I realized that actually I was out of alignment with my values of like female empowerment, authenticity, and natural living. Not that I really had those words at the time, kind of 15 plus years ago, when I started to realize, like, why don't I really like this? And then about 13, 14 years ago, I really went on a very deep personal growth and healing journey. And I was hooked. I did a lot of work in groups, and I just kept sat there thinking, like, this is amazing. And I'm learning all this stuff about myself. And I think I could do that too and help people in that way. So I retrained in various personal development modalities and started my business. And I had a bit of a transition period, but I did that for the first 3 years of having a business. And I did a lot of work around empowering women to be more authentic and confident and have more presence. And a little bit by accident, I learned how to be a business coach by coaching natural beauty entrepreneurs to start and grow a business. And that was through a colleague's business. And then about 6.5 years ago, I stopped resisting being a business coach because I just kept thinking, I don't want to be a business coach. And I really hated the way that business coaches marketed themselves. And I just was like, I don't want to be like that. So took me quite a while to kind of get to that point of going, actually, I love marketing. I always end up helping people with marketing. That's what I do with my eyes closed. So I brought everything together to mentor business women in service-based businesses and started to teach kind of authentic marketing, and realizing that actually there was other ways, to be a business coach and to market your business. So ever since then, I've really been combining practical strategy, business development, and magnetic marketing with the inner work required to really grow an aligned and authentic business. And then 3.5 years ago, I had my miracle baby at the age of 45. So I was a bit late to that party. And I had a bit of time out. And then, I've been back a couple of years now. And recently, earlier this year, I rebranded my business and I went on yet another journey of alignment and truth as I refined my niche down further into my gifts and my passions. And that was part of my journey of just like, actually, what am I here to do? And that's what I want to be helping people with kind of more going forward. So I have helped people with niching over the years that I've been doing business coaching, but it's become more of a focus. So I help women doing transformational work to really discover their soul-aligned niche, to be more strategic in their business, to step into their expertise with confidence, and to up-level their business and ignite their gifts so they can be known for their specialism, because through that you can make a bigger impact and really achieve your income goals. So before we kind of dive in, I just want to invite you to turn off any distractions, phone on silent and all of that. Don't be working away on something else. And I know, because I do that sometimes too on these free things, but I've got a lot of really good stuff to share with you. So hopefully you can take it all in if you focus. So where's my screen? Right. So I'm going to start with why you really do need to niche as an online coach, practitioner, or whatever. There's kind of 3 reasons. You've got access to more people. It's about really wanting to be seen as an expert and being able to charge more from that, and the need to stand out online. So I've got a little bit of a funny slide for each of them. So the first one is kind of having access to more people, but actually it's kind of access to almost too many people. So in the old days, before we all worked online, you could be a general life coach, right? And you could attract people with different issues, different goals, because your pool of potential clients was much smaller due to geography and seeing everybody face to face, right? But online, you have access to a lot more people. You literally have access to everyone who is online, right? Which is huge. But of course, they have access to a lot of people doing a similar thing to you as well, right? So great, you've got access to a lot of people, but they've got access to a lot of people as well. So the marketplace is actually quite saturated with coaches and things like that. So of course, they get easily overwhelmed trying to find someone to work with that can help them. So one of the ways that you can make it really easy for them to pick you is by being niched, right? And being super clear that you're here to help them, because the messages resonate when they're like, oh, you really understand my problem and you're here to help me with this, not just a life coach or whatever, right? So the next one is about being seen as an expert, right? Because When you go narrow and deep instead of shallow and wide, which I'm going to come on to in a sec, you start to be seen as an expert. And when you're an expert and you go even deeper into your specialism and you get even better at it, you start to do your best work and you get better and better results with your clients, right? And it's from that, getting better results, that you're able to charge more. So there's kind of a spiral of niching down, being an expert, charging more, niching down, being an expert, charging more. And you might be able to go around that more than once. But you have to move from being very vague and general to being much more specific. So as an example, not just a health coach, but a menopause health coach, right? It's just a very simple example. And you could niche even further than that, because being really specific works like a bit of like a magnet. You want your ideal clients, when they come across your messaging, right, your copy and your content, you want them to think like, she's in my head. How do you know that about me? Like, how do you know that's what I'm thinking? And that's when they get, when someone totally resonates, you just get drawn in, right, to their world. And, you know, they're looking for a specialist with proven results to help them solve their problem or achieve their goal. And generally, people are willing to pay more for that specialism because the results are more guaranteed. They're going to be better or faster, right? Because they're not doing trial and error, right? Because if you're working with say you're working with a general health coach that covers a lot of different things, they're not specialized in your specific thing. So they might do a bit of trial and error. They might not be that empathic, right? They might not understand you completely. So is it better to go narrow and deep and be a specialist? Or when you've got a lot of different topics, right? When your focus is a wide range of topics or subtopics, you can't go very deep with anyone, right? And you can't go very deep with your content and your copy and all of that. You can only go kind of shallow. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like with your knowledge and your expertise and everything, you've got to stay a bit shallow if you help people with, 10 different things, right? And that can be really overwhelming for you in your business. And this is often what comes up when people are like, I don't know what to share on social media. Sometimes that actually comes from because you've got too many topics that you want to talk about. So then you get a bit like rabbit in the headlights. Yeah. So I see this a lot of people get really tripped up over this one. They're trying to be an expert, but they're trying to be an expert in like 10 things, and then they just get really confused. But when you narrow your focus, you can go really deep with that. And that's how you become an expert. And it makes speaking to your ideal client and creating content a lot easier. And those more discerning people, right? The really lovely people that you want to work with, that understand what you do and they are ready and willing to work with you. They're willing to pay, right? These are the ideal clients. They want to know and trust that you can get them the best results in the quickest and most painless way, right? And they're the people that you want, and they're the people that are more likely to be looking for a specialist. Okay, the last one is you want to stand out, right? So this is a bit cheeky, but it's like, would you rather be 50 Shades of Beige, and apologies to any Rod Stewart fans, or would you rather be a full Technicolor rainbow, right, in your expression of kind of who you are? Now, I've got nothing against beige in its, small quantities, but you have to be more niche than just being a life coach or a holistic therapist or a hypnotherapist, because you would just get lost in this sea of competition, sameness, and kind of blandness, right? And a lot of other people that are doing a similar thing to you. I call it 50 Shades of Beige, because what it does is it translates through your business and you end up being kind of, just a bit vanilla, right? I'm sure you've heard that term of sort of being a bit vanilla. But I like to helping people to just really embrace their authenticity and whatever that truth really looks like to you, right? We're not all multicolored rainbows, but we want to bring that through. And it's about really understanding what makes you different, who you really are, what you enjoy doing, what your gifts are, and bringing that all the way through your business. So this obviously plays out in the niche of you know, are you being who you're meant to be with what you're doing, and then translating that through into your marketing. And this is what will help you stand out from the crowd, right? And I'll say it's not easy, because it takes quite a lot of courage to be different, right? With the beige is about playing safe, right? And we all do it to an extent. Of course we do, because we're like, this is how it's always been done, or this is how most people do it, or, you know, I want to be stylish, or I want to be whatever, right? And it's like these things can make a play. So it's not about not being stylish, but it's about finding your own style and really expressing that in a unique way. So I hope that kind of makes sense. If I don't make sense at any point, do shout or put it in the chat if you're like, hey, also not making sense. So the second point is really about understanding why it is so hard to niche, right? Because it can feel like the hardest thing to do, right? And I know, because I struggled with niching, right? I struggled massively in the beginning. So I've got kind of 5 reasons. The first one is your fears, your thoughts, your emotions, your shadows, your beliefs, your limiting beliefs, like all of that stuff is at play, right? When we have our own business. So I always say it's like having your own business, like the biggest personal growth journey that you can do, right? But what happens is they tend to block your progress, right? So it could be the fear of being judged, or worrying about not being good enough, or that there are not enough people in that niche, or do people want it? Is my idea viable? You know, and it could even be the fear of success, right? All of these things can block us, and you have to do the mindset and energy work to move beyond the fears, which is not always easy alone, even though you might be a coach or a therapist or anything like that. Sometimes it's not very easy to do that work alone. The second one is you might be subconsciously using the story of, I'm not very clear on my niche, right? So you might be using that I'm not clear on my niche as a bit of a story to stop you from taking that courageous and difficult steps forward with your business, right? We're talking the out of comfort zone things like creating new offers and launching and selling and the marketing and all of that. And it might manifest a bit like nothing feels right, right? That's definitely a thing. What I went through at the beginning, it was just, oh, that doesn't feel quite right. Oh, that doesn't feel quite right. And then I just got stuck in this constant searching. And yeah, because it can feel like a really big decision and something that you don't want to get wrong. So, but what I've found for myself and with other people is like your niche will more likely emerge as you do a lot of work with people and as you do marketing, right? But of course, you need a starting point. And then you have to put offers out there, you have to do marketing, because it's all about testing. And often we have to do that before you're totally clear on your niche, which is, how hard is that to be like putting stuff out there? I'm not really sure if it's the thing or not, right? It's a super, super hard place to be. But unfortunately, that is part of the pathway of figuring it out. So number 3 is you're trying to figure out your niche from logic alone. Right now, hands up, I did this. I got the book, I went to the workshops, I did all the stuff, and it was all from up here, and none of it really landed, right? Or you're maybe trying to force the decision and obsessing over it, because you're like, I need to figure this out, I need to figure this out. But it's not really a decision that we can solely make from our heads. I feel like it's a head, heart, soul decision that can reveal itself in many different ways, but rarely by just thinking about it logically. So as I said, your niche may emerge over time as you do work with people, but there's also a lot that we can do together to help you uncover your niche. And I can support you with all the steps through that and kind of after that, because there's the figuring it out, and then there's how do you actually create a business around that is what you want. So number 4 is that you're kind of too close to yourself. You're too close to your unique abilities and your own business to kind of see what the niche is. And it's not something that's very easy for it to be revealed alone. It's that sort of can't see the wood for the trees thing. So an experienced coach like myself, or maybe a well-facilitated group, we can see things in other people, right? I can see things in you that you can't because you're blind to them. And we call these blind spots, okay? And that can, you know, be really useful to have someone else's perspective so they can see those blind spots and they can draw your unique soul aligned niche out of you. And I believe that's one of my gifts that I've been developing over the last few months, because it's just too hard to see for yourself. It's like something that feels so easy for you is probably what your niche is, but you're like, it's so easy, everybody can do that surely. And so we can kind of stumble over what does that even, how do I know what that is? And then that last point is you might not know what your niche could look like, right? You either don't really know what a niche is, which we're going to come on to, or what an aligned niche is. And you maybe don't have any idea what that perfect niche for you might look like. And it might be something so unique that you've never seen it before, right? It hasn't been done before, right? And again, which can feel quite scary, but sometimes it's like, it just hasn't been done before. So you might need to be a groundbreaker, right? You might need to be the one to do it. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. Yeah, you might need to be the one to do it. Next screen. So the 3 biggest niche mistakes that most coaches and things make when trying to niche. So number 1 is thinking your niche is your job title, right? So your niche is not your job title, right? Your niche is not relationship coach, empowerment coach, nutritional therapist, parenting coach, health coach, whatever, right? It's a job title, which can be really useful for helping people understand what area you work in, right? So I would say definitely it's really useful for that beginning of your 1-minute pitch, right? So people just go, oh, okay, so she's in the health coaching arena, fine, but it's not your niche, right? It's much more than that. The second one is thinking your niche is your ideal client, right? So your niche is not your ideal clients. So for example, menopausal women, entrepreneurs, people with ADHD or whatever, right? It's just part of the picture. It's part of the niche. And this one is not your fault because there are too many people out there spouting this as truth, right? And I saw this recently on LinkedIn from a coaching training platform, right, that also train coaches how to like market themselves. And she had on one of her slides, your niche is your ideal client. I was like, no, it's not. You can't say that. Like, that's not true, right? So there's a lot of that around, is that your niche is your ideal client. And then the third one is saying your niche is your modality, right? And your niche is not your modality, because if you train in lots of different things, which a lot of us do because we like learning and we like adding to our skills, right? So you end up with this list of like, oh, my niche is I'm a NLP practitioner and I do EFT and I'm a Reiki master and I'm, you know, and it's like, that's not your niche either, okay? And it's not your niche because your audience may not know what it is, right? Some people have never heard of NLP or Reiki or whatever, and they probably don't understand how it can help them, right? So if you say that that's what your niche is, probably not going to land, because they're like, okay, but I don't know what that is, or I don't know that's going to help me, right? So it's part of the picture. I'm not saying none of this is not part of the picture, but it's not what your niche is. So if that is all not what not your niche is, hold on, if that is not what your niche is, then what is a niche? So, and again, I'm talking specifically to coaches and things like that. Your niche is an area of specialism in which you've clearly defined who you help, what you help them with, and how you get those results. And it's a unique combination of those. And don't worry about writing that down. I'm going to take you through an exercise later so you can figure that out. Your soul aligned niche is you being fully in your zone of genius, right? Living your purpose, doing what you're here to do, really loving it, so doing what you absolutely love, and it feeling right, it feeling aligned and authentic for you. And hopefully feeling really exciting, even if there's also some fear around it, right? So fear is not a barometer of whether something is right or wrong or not all right for you. And sometimes we get a bit confused with that, but it's not. There can be fear there when it's exactly the right thing, right? So that is what a niche really is, and what I think a soul-aligned niche is. And doesn't that sound exciting? Like, what a world we could create if everybody was in their gifts, you know, sharing what they were here to do and helping the people with that. So we're going to go into this little exercise. I'm just going to show you kind of the 3 points, because this is how you can get closer to your niche. And this is my unique niching model. I just call it the who, what, how model. I might come up with a better name one day, but it's the who, what, how. So how it works is you need to get really clear on who you help. So the first circle, the top circle there. So it could be menopausal women, right? But it could be a smaller niche than that. So all of these circles could be like bigger, smaller, medium sized, and you can have a different size circle for each part, for each circle, if that makes sense. So menopausal women, but it could be smaller than that. It could be perimenopausal women, right? So even smaller, or it could be menopausal mums of young children, right? So you could niche further. Then you've got the what you help them with, right? So this is generally the problems that you help them solve or the goals that you help them achieve. And it can be a bit of a combination, right? So generally, you know, it's carrot or stick. What do you help them move away from? What do you help them move towards? So using the same example, say we've got a health coach, you know, who does menopausal women. The what could be, for example, if it was quite niche down, it might be like the psychological transition with, you know, the emotions coming up a lot or being triggered a lot and a lot of healing, right? It could be the healing aspect of menopause, or it could be much wider and it could be the sort of health and wellness coaching, so more general physical and emotional symptoms of menopause, right? So yeah, you can go kind of wide, you can go narrow with each of these. And then the how you get results is a combination of how, like your how. So it could be an example, it might be a combination of using EFT, you know, a trauma release therapeutic approach and a type of coaching or something, right? So it could be one modality, it could be lots of different modalities. And within this, it could be that you have your unique process. And of course, I won't go into it now, but the how can also include all of your background, you know, life experience, professional experience, trainings, you know, work, and all of that can kind of come into that. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, but I want you to just see if you can come up with something for each of those. And it doesn't have to be forever, but for right now, right? So as an exercise, you can do the exercise, you know, again for homework, but I want you to do something now that you can take forward into the transformational statement bit that I'm going to cover at the end. So yeah, I'll give you a couple of minutes to just jot down who you help, so who your ideal clients are, what you help them do, what you help them with, so problem you solve or goal you help them achieve, and kind of how you get those results with them. Okay. And shout if you've got any questions. Let's give you a couple of minutes. Lots of clever people, that's cool. Okay, I'm just going to move on now, but we are going to come back to this at the end when we look at the transformational statement, because it's kind of a way of really bringing it all together. So I'm going to share, I'm going to go into sharing my offer. I'll be honest, I'm not going to just pretend that I'm not doing that. So why what I've covered today probably kind of isn't enough. Obviously, it's a free thing. We've been on for sort of half an hour. But for some of you, you might get more clarity out of this session today, and you can go away and you can implement it. But for most of you, you'll either not have full clarity yet. The blocks will get in the way as you try to kind of implement things, or somewhere along the line you'll get stuck trying to turn this idea and excitement around a niche into a successful business, whether that's creating offers and pricing and marketing and making sales and all of that. So for all of you, I do have an offer today, and it's because, do you know what, niching and finding your soul aligned niche is a process, and it can take a while, and it is a twisty journey of exploring different pathways, and it absolutely doesn't happen overnight. You might get clarity like a light bulb, but the implementation definitely doesn't happen overnight. It can cause an existential crisis regarding your work and your purpose, because, I'm going to go deep into this. Like, what are you kind of here to do? And it's, what are you here to do right now, right? We don't know what are you here to do in 5 years' time, but it's going to be about, what to do right now. And it's really good to have support to get through that, because it's just really tricky to figure out on your own. It's really hard to see it for yourself. As I said before, you're too close to it. Your gifts feel too easy, and it's hard to see how you're different, and it's super hard to own how amazing you are and how different you are. And it can take time and support and working through those inner blocks, because you've got, that the niching journey also really will bring you up against where there's gaps in the self-belief and the all stuff around visibility and all of that kind of thing. And the last point is, niching means that there is an up level happening, right? Niching is it can be a change, particularly if you've really kind of gone, right, I found the niche and I'm going to do that. It can bring up an awful lot of fear, limiting beliefs, all that stuff, which can cause us to get quite stuck with it. And the repositioning can also take quite a while to settle as well. So I have a 4-month coaching program, Discover Your Niche Gold. It's for you if you're a coach, health and wellbeing practitioner, therapist, healer, spiritual business, etc., and you're struggling to figure out your niche, and it's really holding you back from taking action and making sales. Maybe you're offering too many different things to too many different people, and you're getting a bit confused. Business has got a bit complicated. This is for you if you're not making the income and impact that you want to make, and deep down, you can. You're not attracting enough ideal clients, so either you don't really want to work with them, or the people that can't afford you, or for any other reason they're just not very ideal. And maybe you want to stop charging by the hour, as you can see how it limits your earning capacity. And particularly when you want to leverage your time and do more group work, or create courses, or anything that's kind of more group rather than one-to-one, you absolutely have to be a bit more niched. So if there's a ceiling on your earning because you're doing mostly one-to-one work, or you're mostly working getting paid by the hour, then niching kind of is the way out of that, to be able to leverage your time more and to be able to grow. Or like Catherine, who I've worked with, who felt split before we worked together, and she said, we achieved so much that had been holding me back, how to bridge two seemingly different worlds with my niche and make them connect in a powerful, meaningful way, so I no longer feel split. But instead, you really want to be seen and charged like an expert. You want to be clear with what you're offering. You want to know and embrace your value and really charge what you should be charging. You want to attract more ideal clients. You want to make more income, but most importantly, a much bigger impact. And you want to embrace your true gifts and do what you are here to do. And you want to really love what you do, right? You want to be in your zone of joy. so you can feel clear and connected to your passion and energy, like Mel, who said, I was aware of my niche, but I hadn't realized that I worked with two distinct types of client within that, which was a real breakthrough moment. I'm now feeling clear and reconnected with my passion, my energy, and my why I do the work I do, and I have a clear picture of where I want to go next. So what this one-to-one program will help you with and help you do, it'll help you get clear on your goals and your vision and what's important to you. It'll help you uncover and get clear on your soul-aligned niche so you can make some serious progress with your business. It'll really help you embrace your unique gifts. So that might be coming out of the spiritual closet or stepping into your expertise and creating compelling offers that your ideal clients will love. So you can position your business and your offers really well with that win-win pricing, and you can start making the income that you want while making the impact that you want. It will help you have a clear strategy and plan so you know what you're doing, which will make you more focused, productive, and motivated. It's going to help you nail your messaging so that all your communication is clear, and that makes you memorable and it makes you referable, right? And it makes your content really resonate with your ideal clients. And then it's going to be about shifting those blocks and beliefs around valuing yourself, stepping into your power, being seen, standing out, feeling like an imposter, and really help you be totally authentic and awesome and really help clear those fears that might hold you back. So you can just go out there and take the actions that are going to make the difference. So the main sort of things that we'll cover is on the screen. So it's going to be clarity on your goals and your niche, your USP, really looking at really identifying and deeply understanding your ideal clients. We're going to be covering strategy and like your business model, which is like all your offers and how you want to be working, so that it fits around your lifestyle, your family, and your health, and your other needs. We'll create them together, and then around pricing and positioning, so that you've got a really good mix of offers and you're happy with your pricing and it's going to bring you the income that you want. And then we'll work on messaging as well so that you've got the right words for your profiles, your website, and then going into content as well. So we're going to be working on the success foundations, which is all of that's on the screen. That's what I call the success foundations, because you really need to have those clear and in place before you kind of then the marketing, the lead generation, the sales, and the content kind of comes after that. So the 4-month program is going to be focused more on the success foundations, but you could work together for a couple of more months or a few months on a monthly basis if you want help more with the getting your messaging out there and the marketing and lead gen and all that sort of stuff. So what it includes, so what you get is a 90-minute one-to-one session with me each month. And that is focused on strategy and business and marketing, as well as personal growth. So in every session, there'll be some mindset or some energy clearing. So I have some different practices we can do where we can help to really shift fears and limiting beliefs and things like that. You'll get a quarterly goal setting and planning session, which is a group thing that all my clients come to. I run them each quarter and you plan the next quarter in a sort of 2-hour session. You'll get my soul aligned niche clarity workbook, which is like a coaching kind of workbook that you'll get up front to just help you get clear on a few things. And then you get my soul aligned success goal setting and planning process, which is a digital training. It's a self-led thing. So you can go through that, and it's got lots of different tools for planning and setting goals and things. And then at the end, we'll work together on creating your business strategy action plan. So that's a template that I have. And then across the 4 months, you get email support, lots of different resources, accountability emails every week, and a lot more. Just gonna go to the next So there were the testimonials that I read out already. And then the third one from lovely Gwen said, when I met Hills, I was full of enthusiasm for following my passion. I just needed some help to put some plans in place. And she helped me to hone my message, get my head around marketing, identify my ideal client, and get some clarity and structure around my business. So the investment, basically, this is the first time that I'm running this program specifically focused on kind of getting clear on your niche. So I'm looking for just 2 more beta testers at an amazing special price of $250 a month for 4 months. And that's going to be everything that you get in exchange for, as well, lots of feedback so that I can really hone it and improve it, and a testimonial at the end. So once the 2 beta tester spots have gone, I will be opening up spots at the full price, which is $340 per month. So if you want to jump in and save 25%, then now's the time to do it. Now, if you know me already, or even if you don't, I'm not into the pushy, like, you have to do it now and you have to sign up now and you get a set of knives and all that stuff. That's not my style. So let me just pop the link in the chat. So I will hold the beta price for you guys who have attended live. So that's until Thursday lunchtime, but it is limited by, there's only 2 more spots at that price. And once they're gone, they're gone. But you can sign up at the full price. So there's a little bit of it pays off to kind of take action, but I also want you to kind of sit with it. I want it to be, a full yes and the right thing for you. So if you want to sign up, I haven't got a sales page because, as I said, it's a new offer, and I've just wanted to work with some beta testers first. I've put in the chat the payment link to sign up as a beta tester. I'll also send that out with the replay in the email. And as I said, I'll honour that price for anyone on here who books in the next 2 days. If you're one of the first 2, I'm not going to press you, but I do want you to take action if it's the right thing for you right now. If you're watching the replay, I imagine that the beta tester spots have probably gone. Feel free to email and ask. But you'll also need to sign up using the link in the email, because you won't be able to see the chat. And then later I'm going to turn this into a lead magnet. So if it's kind of later than October 2023, then just check the program that I'm offering at the time, because by the time you watch this, I might have worked with some beta testers and tweaked it and improved it, and it might look a little bit different. Okay, so let's get into how to describe what you do as a compelling transformational statement. Just get there as the right screen. So I'm just going to copy it into the chat, so that, because you're going to work on this. So let me copy that over, so you can see it on the screen. So it's got like 4 different parts to it. So I'm going to give you kind of 5 minutes to do it, and then you can share it in the group. So some sort of verb, right? Keep it simple and just do I help, but it might be I empower, I guide, or whatever, or I coach. And then insert ideal client. So I guide, or I help menopausal women, or whatever. 2, and then you're going to insert the challenge that you help them overcome, or the goal that you help them achieve. Now, don't make that a big list of things, like literally pick 1 or 2 things to just put that in for now, because you can do more for homework and make it a bit longer if you want to. So I help ideal client to overcome challenge or achieve goal through, by, using, whatever, that's kind of your how. So that might be using, NLP and EFT. And then so they can is then the results. So we haven't done results earlier in the session, but I want you to pick 2 or 3 results that you help them get. So this is the end result of working with you, right? So what is it at the end of your coaching program, or whatever? So they can do what, feel what, be what, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you've got any questions, feel free to just unmute. And then when you've got that done, you can pop that into the chat. So I'll kind of just read a quick example. Might be something like, I empower women coaches to overcome doubt and stuckness by helping them uncover their soul-aligned niche, getting strategic and up-leveling using coaching, consulting, and personal growth tools, so they can make the income and impact they want, and create their dream business. So that was kind of an example for me. So I'll give you, about 5 minutes. Do share it in the chat when you've got yours. I'd love to see them. And if you've got any questions, let me know. And I'm just going to have a look at questions that have come up in the chat from earlier. Yeah. So Amanda, I'm just reading your question from earlier. The how might be your unique process. You might have a unique process, for example. It might be the modalities that you use. It might be a blend. It might be, your intuition and a modality. It could be lots of different things. Obviously, we can go deeper with it, but for the transformational statement, it can just be quite short. So yeah, I hope that helps. But yeah, it is hard, and it's hard to know what's unique to you and what's different to you and what you can really bring. What it is that you do that brings the results. It is hard. Just realized I didn't change it on the screen, but the one in the chat's correct, so it adds on the so they can with the results. So if you're looking at the screen. Just give you 1 more minute if you've got it. Do share it in the chat. It'd be great to see some of it. And it doesn't have to be perfect at this stage. It's just a little exercise that you can do in a bit more detail as homework. Non-coach or something like I help overwhelmed HR teams. Yeah. To move from an undervalued transactional function through digital transformation, enabling them to provide strategic value to business. Okay, there's a lot of big words there that I find it hard to then understand quite what that means, but maybe, because I'm not your target audience, Jackie, but maybe an HR person will understand that, or it's business owners, isn't it, really? But yeah. Oh, I see, an undervalued transactional function. Yeah, I think that's a bit vague. And what does digital transformation kind of mean? And provide strategic value. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, what does it enable them to do specifically around the HR thing, maybe? I help young people and teachers increase self-awareness, build confidence, and make important decisions through personal development coaching and using my experience as a teacher and working with ADHD so they can fulfill their potential. Great, Helen, that's really good. Yeah, really good. And I think you could add on a couple of others so they cans. But yeah, Rick, to be a bit more specific, but that's great. Am I up to Vicky? I guide women on a spiritual path to release overwhelm, anxiety, and stuckness using a unique combination of EFT matrix and nutritional therapies that can heal, transform, and shine. Yeah, great. No, it's good, Vicky. And I'm working with Vicky. Vicky's one of my beta testers that we've just started working together with. So I'm excited to be getting my hands on you. But yeah, we can get that even better. But yeah, well done. First draft from Alison. I empower women on the other side of a life transition to rediscover their authentic self using feeling thousand to help them look and feel their best and discover their superpowers through the colors they wear so they can shine in the world with greater confidence in their being. Oh, I love that. That's really good. I love that. Alison's an ex-client of mine. So yeah, we've worked together. I love that. Yeah, that's great. And I would also like with the life transition, you could even put in a couple of examples to just bring more specificity to that. Amanda, I help women who feel lost or invisible or are dealing with life transitions. Yeah, still working on that. That's fine. To use the way they dress to build their confidence, vitality, and self-compassion through small group coaching and the power of supportive communities. Yeah, it's good to have the so they can at the end. I mean, it's really good to play around with the order, but it sort of nails it at the end. Yeah, but it's good. Yeah, the so they can. Yeah. Yeah, you forgot to add it. Yeah, but that's great. Yeah, I like it. No, I like the feel lost, invisible, dealing with life. I think the life transitions is really applicable. Yeah, or loss of identity and things like that. So like last one I'll read out. So Nina, I support growth oriented parents, say that when you're drunk, to create environments in which they can grow and thrive alongside their child. I use inner child work and my own research-based practice. Yeah, and then so they can, sorry, that was, I left it off the screen. Yeah, would really then bring that together. It's like, so they can do what? Like, we want to paint that picture of possibility for people so that they're like, oh, I want that, that's the bit almost that they will connect with more. So we've just got a couple of minutes left. Thank you so much for sharing all of those in the chat and for giving that a go. And I hope that it's just brought even a little bit more clarity today and you've got some things to work through and some things to think about. And yeah, if you want to jump in and work with me, we can obviously go a lot deeper with it. This is just one aspect, having your transformational statement. It's really good for profiles and copy and things like that. But obviously there's a lot more that we can do. So it's then how do we take that into your business and create the right offers and, create the right pricing, the right business for you, and have it all kind of lined up. So yeah, 2 spots at the beta price, the beta tester price. We can start anytime, we can start straight away. If you grab one of those, then we need to start soon because I want to test it and get lots of feedback so that I can just make it really great for the next time that I kind of launch it. So yeah, has anyone got any questions before we sort of finish up? And just thank you so much for joining me and thank you for making this important and for joining live. I hope you've got a lot from it and some stuff to work on afterwards as well. Oh, thank you. Very helpful. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And I'll send the recording as well so you can always listen back to anything. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone. Good refreshing. Thank you. Sharing. Thank you. Yeah, feel free to close on. Thank you.